Hi everyone, I am at the beach today. There's really no one here to join me other than some seagulls and me and you and waves. So I had the moral of today, there's great rocks on here, man. The moral of today is not about rocks. The moral of today is getting out of the mindset that the world is against you because shit happens, or shit has been happening, or whatever. Brings me to the beach as my happy place, though I'm not going to be able to stay super long because the noise is loud. I had an MRI today because I'm pretty sure I have a concussion, non-related to cancer whatsoever. And I'm not far, or wasn't far from the beach. So I'm like, why not drive 10 minutes and go to the beach and get a nice walk in and have a different point of view than the car that I'm usually in. So like, yeah, these rocks, this is a New England thing. The shores up here are very rocky. There's a song about that. And because they're so rocky, it makes the stones very smooth because they've been through the ringer. So all the bumps and stuff are smooth because of all they've been through to get onto these shores, which is very ironic given all the stuff that I've been through, or you or your loved one, with this whole cancer journey. I'm gonna stick these in my pocket. And while there's not a lot of variety of shells, the shells are super, super pretty. I should like grab some before I go. Like, isn't that super pretty? Like hardly any cracks on anything. This would be a nice thumbnail right here. Hardly any cracks. So pretty. As I drop it back on the beach. So I had, in my lifetime, I should say in the past 3 years, I've had 3 MRIs. 2 of them were breast MRIs, and 1 was a brain MRI to make sure my brain is okay. I bashed my head inadvertently, so that's the brain MRI today. Anyway, I've had the 2 breast MRIs, and when I went to the brain MRI, you're not on your stomach. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cake, because like I get to lay on my back. And on the drive-in, I was thinking to myself what music I wanted to listen to when I went for the MRI, because in the past, the 2 times I've had an MRI, they put headphones on because the noise is like crazy inside of an MRI machine, and they give you headphones and they play music to distract you. So while you're hearing these big ass noises, you're also hearing like disco or beach sounds or whatever it is that you choose. Today, my MRI was not where I usually go. It was the only place that had any openings that were soon. So where I am is not usually where I am, obviously. No headphones today. They just gave me the little yellow earplugs, and I'm like, really? It was cool when I went in because I'm face up. Maybe it's always this way. I don't have the experience, fortunately, to know. Is that they had like images on the top, so if I looked up, I could see half a screen. I don't know why I was in the full screen of like different things to look at, which was nice and distracting. But it's just frustrating. And my first MRI was the one that detected the breast cancer in the first place. I had never had one before. It was supposed to just be a baseline. 2 implants later, here we are. And the second one is because I felt a lump between my foobs, which I need to have. The lump they say is my xiphoid process, because I lost some weight that now it's feelable. I went for 4 opinions, so I kind of assume that they know what they're talking about. Anyway, but while they did that imaging for the second MRI, when I felt the lump, they're like, oh, wait a minute, turn on your side. Well, they didn't say, wait a minute. They said, turn on your side so we can look at like in this other area. I'm like, what other area? Oh, well, they were doing an ultrasound after the MRI. And there was some enhancement. I'll say they're pretty sure it's not cancerous. That's not how they worded it. They worded it that it's or I don't even know how they worded it, but they said it's most likely like scar tissue. But since I don't have a normal MRI to compare to, there's no way to know. So right now I'm in a holding pattern. I have another, that's gonna suck. I have another MRI in January. It's the end of September right now. So they can look at that area and see what's going on. The interesting thing is, because all this shit happens, it makes you kind of numb after a bit. Which I'll get to the anger in a moment, but it makes you numb. And I'm like, whatever it is, if the cancer's back or something, I'll deal with it. There's nothing I can do about it now. They can't do anything until they see more imaging, and it's 6 months later. Let's see what's going on. So I am totally fine with them waiting the 6 months to see what's going on, which is weird because if it was the first time you were getting an MRI and they said, look, we see something, they didn't use the word suspicious, but if they saw something suspicious, you'd be like, DEFCON 2 or whatever it is. But that's so not where I am. So it's interesting with the emotions. It becomes numb with that. In the same aspect, there's a lot of anger. For, I think, obvious reasons, there's a lot of anger. I'm like hitting the edge of the beach here. So like today when I went for the MRI, I thought it would be kind of cake. Like I'd just go in and out because I'm face up. It's not uncomfortable like physically with like it is for a breast MRI where you're down on your stomach and stuff. But as I'm looking up and I can hear the sounds obviously more because I don't have the disco music playing or whatever in the background to distract me. And it was a 20-minute MRI, which is fairly, love this. Can you see that? Looking up. Where's the plane? This is also I can't see it on here. Do you see the plane? I don't know. This is also the flight path for Logan Airport. Do you see it? I don't know. It's hard for me to see it on there. But I'm upside down because I thought I was walking north. Apparently I'm walking south because Boston's that way. And I thought Boston was the other direction. There he turned around. There's the bridge. That's so weird because I'm pretty sure I came from down that way. Anyhow. So yeah, when I was laying there and I could hear the sounds and stuff, and I feel like my head's probably fine, but my doctor's being just cautious because I've been having headaches unrelated to the cancer. That's another story for another day. What changed things was this morning. So I can't find my AirPods, my new ones that I bought. My old ones are kind of like on their way out. The nice thing with AirPods is that you have, here's my Apple commercial quick, that you have the option for noise canceling. So when sounds are loud because you have a concussion, you can put them in your ears, put on noise canceling, and it mutes all the sounds. So that's been handy. But I had the case for my AirPods. I distinctly recall taking them out of my ears and putting them in something so that, and then I'm like, when I get my case, I'll put them in my case. And now I have my case, and I don't remember what I did with the actual AirPods. They will turn up, I'm sure. In my many years of teaching, when students said, you lost my homework, or you lost this, I'm like, I have yet to lose a kid's paper. And then, it always turns up that they left it on their kitchen table, or in their bedroom, or wherever it is. So I'm like, crap. Rewind, my Fitbit story. This is where my world comes from. My Fitbit story that, I don't know if you can hear if it's windy, if I go that way or not. We'll see. The quality doesn't come out like shit, but we shall see. I'm going to go this way and walk back. So my Fitbit, when I went for my last Cementa infusion, which was my last time in the infusion center because my Luprons are done, I came home and went to put my Fitbit on the next day, and it wasn't there. And I, as you have probably seen if you watch some of my vlogs around July, is I was so fuming that it probably fell out of my bag when I was in the infusion center, and I was drinking a lot of water before I went in, and my guess would be the drinking of the water in and out of the bag, my Fitbit probably fell out. I wore my Fitbit there. I had to take it off to do labs, which I don't know why I didn't think about that. You can't have it on while you're doing labs or when you're having an infusion, so because they need access to your arms. So I went back. It was a whole thing. I went back to the infusion center and I asked to look in, and they're lost and found. And then I reached out to my oncologist and I reached out to the lab and I all these places to try to figure out like where is it. And when I physically went back there and looked in the lost and found, which like who's gonna put a Fitbit in the lost and found? I went into this whole big thing about like how would someone be so cold to like if my Fitbit had fallen out in the waiting room for the infusion center, which I was almost positive that's what ended up happening. Like, who would pick that up and steal it? Like, that's just so shady to steal something for an infusion center. Fast forward to this morning. I'm looking for my AirPods. I do need to straighten up my room. The rest of my apartment that, like, other humans see is, like, really pretty and nice and organized, and I got all the furniture and stuff. My room, I have not. I need to prioritize myself more. I still need curtains and a couple pieces of furniture. But I thought maybe it fell underneath my nightstand. So I look under my nightstand, it's not there. And I look to the left and I lift my bed sheets up, thinking I'm gonna find the AirPods. And what do I find is my Fitbit. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Here I am going off about how the world is horrible. And some evil person stole my Fitbit from the infusion center at the cancer center. Like, who does that? Oh! Fast forward, what, like 2 months later, it was under my bed the whole time. If you don't laugh, you're gonna lose your fucking marbles. So I have my Fitbit back. In the meantime, I'd gotten a cheap version, not a Fitbit, another thing. I'm like, I'm not spending $100 on a Fitbit again. And when I plugged in I had the charger still for the Fitbit. And when I plugged it in, because obviously I had been dead for quite some time, there's a little happy face that came up on the screen of the Fitbit. And I'm like, bastard. Oh, yay. Look at these pretty, pretty shells. Look, it's almost like breast cancer pink. How ironic. So yeah, that was this morning as I'm going in for the brain MRI, which makes me think that my brain will be okay. If it's not, we'll see what's going on. It's so pretty though. Look how I just love, there's a thing about the ocean. Here, I'll turn just so you can see, and I will narrate. There's a thing about the ocean, just with stuff like coming in and out. It's like, I don't like all the waves, like when you're in it. I've kayaked in the ocean before. I really should be going this way, so I'm by the speaker. I've kayaked in the ocean before, and it gets really choppy out there. But as crazy as it is all the way out there, like you come towards like the shoreline, and granted, I'll walk a little bit closer for you. Hopefully you can still hear me. Granted, there's a little bit of turmoil and chaos as you get towards the end of the water with all the waves and stuff. Especially if you're like a little kid going out there, because it can knock you under very easily. But then when all is said and done, the waves go away. And they go back out to get more waves. Kind of like all the drama that's going on. And it leaves all this stuff in its wake. But all this stuff is a treasure to somebody else. And I had a really weird thought. I'll do a 60 seconds of Zen. I had a weird thought this morning too on the drive in, because I'm wearing a sports bra that all my clothes are basically new because of the flooding and stuff. If you missed that, rewind to like February of 2023. I have a sports bra on that's very different from what I usually wear. I have obviously this on, but underneath, like if I just had the sports bra, it's kind of a sports bra / like tank toppy thing. But the point is that my belly button is showing. That's why I put this on. but I can tell that I've lost weight. I tend to lose or gain weight easily in my face, but I like that like my stomach is not as, it's much more defined than what it had been for the past like 3 years since all this shit happened. So that makes me proud. I did have COVID 2 weeks ago, and then I got pink eye, so I was like, I didn't go to the gym and stuff, so I did put a few pounds on, but the point is I was happy with how my belly looked, which I don't think I've used those words at all since like 2019, and we are now in 2024. And I was thinking, like, I remember shortly before I was diagnosed, when my boobs started looking weird to me, and I'm like, well, this sucks, because this is just what happens to your boobs as you get older. They start to sag, and they lose their ooh, this one's like orange. This is pretty. Perfect for fall. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Yeah, I was thinking, like, you know, your boobs just like they start to get so, they lose like their mass. And I thought that's just what happens when you get older, but I noticed one was losing its mass more than another, to the point that I could like fold it in half up. And like, you see all these like, how many people's boobs do I look at that are older? I don't. The only people's boobs I've seen as like an over 40-year-old were people that had implants, because they're showing out that they had implants. I haven't seen like what an old person's boobs look like. It's not a common thing that you talk about or ask to see. So what do I know? I don't know those sisters, and I wouldn't be like, Mom, here, let me see your boobs. So I thought it was normal. And I remember thinking, like, I'm having a tough time with the aging process, and it's funny with, not haha funny, but with me hitting my head, I was supposed to have gotten, I was supposed to have my roots colored. Runway's coming up in about a month. I was supposed to have my roots colored, but then I had to cancel because I had COVID, and then I rescheduled it, and then hit my head, or say I collided with the car trunk. And now my scar, the area that was cut and bleeding is along my hairline, so I haven't been coloring it because I don't want chemicals by it. So in the meantime, all my gray is coming in. When my hair is down, I have this cool like little cowlick of gray over here, which looks kind of cool, but like, it's a big wake up about the whole aging process. But I remember thinking that, like, I never thought I would want implants, like, ever. I'm just kind of a natural person that way. I don't want foreign things inside of me. Yet here we are. But I remember thinking, like, you know, I'm definitely not young, and I'll have to buy better push-up bras to like put these, you know, they're moldable when they're real. And I'll have to get a better bra, so when I go out back into the dating world, I can lift the boobs up and have some nice cleavage, because they're so moldable now, because they're old and don't have a lot of, you know, like they're floppy, I guess. One was floppier than the other. Keep in mind, for those just tuning in, I never had a lump. I had many tumors on my right side, and some on my left that were my left was lobular carcinoma in situ, which technically I think is like stage 0 or whatever. I'm not sure, but I'm glad I had them both removed, because even the lobular carcinoma increases my chance of it becoming malignant by like 30% or something. So I'm grateful that I chose to have both removed. And now I have these implants. So this morning when I got dressed and put my bra on and was looking at like, what do I have that's metal? Notice my earring's out. How exciting. I can put a new earring in. You know, can't wear an earring to an MRI. That would not be comfortable. Sorry, there's just so much. Like, I don't lose my train of thought because like I'm spacey. It's just I lose my train of thought, and then I'm like, there's just so much that has happened in such a short period of time. Anyway, when I was looking at my clothes to see if what I was wearing had metal, and I was looking in the mirror. I have a full-length mirror, and I was looking in the mirror and looking at my belly. Like, you know, it's still big. I still weigh like 30 pounds more than I used to before all this shit happened. But my boobs aren't. They're like the saggy flat things that they were. And it was the first time in this whole journey that I'm like, you know, I don't have the hourglass figure that I would like, but I kind of liked the shape of my boobs more so than the shape of my original boobs. Like cancer or no cancer, which I certainly have not been in that place to say that out loud or even think that, I think, ever. So even though it's been a little over 3 years now since I was diagnosed, it's crazy that it would like take all that time to get to that place where the superficial thing of having implants. I mean, granted, yes, I have big scars across my boobs, and the color that they are is what they're going to be. There's nothing, I mean, they can do tattooing, by the way, on the scars to make them not as pink. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I don't know. I'm very happy with my wrist tattoo. It's underneath there. And I will have my nipple tattoos done, but they don't want me doing anything until after this second MRI. Yeah, it was just weird. It was like a moment of, you know, getting to a place that I haven't been at. And I guess that's a big step in my healing. So when I'm walking the runway show for Runway for Recovery in about a month, and I'm gonna get back to the gym so I can get in shape. So I mean, the weight loss is nice, but like it's more of a matter of like being, oh, where am I? I have to pay attention to where I'm going. 1, 2, okay. It's a matter of like feeling healthy and strong. Someone I was talking to that I haven't talked to in a very long time, like medically, asked me if I felt healthy. I'm like, no, I don't feel healthy. Well, certainly not when I had COVID, but regardless of that, in general, I don't feel healthy. I'm still in a space that I think that, you know, something else is going to happen, and something else is going to happen, some test is going to show something, you know, shit happens. I'm tired of shit happening, but I get that shit happens. But I also can't be angry at the world anymore because of the Fitbit. There was not some evil person that went and stole my Fitbit off the floor at the infusion center. It somehow ended up underneath my bed. I don't even know how that happened, but that's what happened. And it's funny because it was at one point I'm like, someone's trying to turn my Fitbit on. It was trying to connect to my phone, and I'm thinking it's somebody else trying to get it to work, and I'm like, fuck you, and I disable the thing. Turns out it was just my poor little lonely Fitbit trying to reconnect with my phone. Ay. But I can't blame myself so much, you know, whatever. It's just a lesson that, like, I have to stop being so angry. Whoops. See, I could have fallen right there. Shit happens. You can't be angry at the world. I have a lot of reasons in my life to be angry at the world, and I've come to terms with a lot of them. I'm entering people territory. Should I turn the other way? I don't know what to do right now. Oh, what the fuck do I care? I'm just gonna walk. I guess that's one thing that it gives you is you don't really give a shit about a lot of stuff. You don't really give a shit about what people think about you. You can walk along the beach in front of people with a pink selfie stick, and here I am. Whatever. What's funny is that the beach that I'm at right now, I had come here for the first time many moons ago. Not many moons ago, like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, when I entered the land of online dating after I got divorced. And I met up with a guy who lived, he's like, I have an oceanfront view of my, or his apartment has an oceanfront view. And me, I'm like, you know, I'm like 2 years out from like being divorced, and I'm like, okay, I'll come to your oceanfront view apartment. Oh my God, my standards were so low back then. And he's trying to impress me with all these degrees that he has, and I'm like, zippity doodah, but you seem kind of like an asshole. I didn't say that to his face. But I think of that and like how far I've come. and self-respect. My standards are a lot higher now. When I do delve back out into that world of online dating, I wonder what will be waiting for me because my standards have gotten so high, as they should be. So yeah, all right, so that's where I'm at. I'll stop and you guys can look at the ocean for a little while. I'm trying to I actually don't even know. This is one thing about Boston. I love Boston, but there is no sense of direction in this city. Because I thought now I would be walking south because I thought I saw the bridge that goes into Boston. Oh, straight ahead. Maybe that is the bridge. I can't even tell. I thought that Boston was that way. So I don't know if I'm going north or south, but I know how to get home. I feel like that's north. Maybe that's not the bridge I'm thinking of. I don't really know. But anyway, it's pretty out here. So whatever view you're looking at, I can't even tell you. I've only lived here like almost 15 years. So I don't know what's what. But I will leave you just by giving you some time to look out at the water and to contemplate whatever you want. And my audio was horrible because of the wind. Sorry, not sorry. I'm glad to be here. And I'll see you all next time. So my again, words of advice here is it takes time, but at some point stop being mad at the world, you know? Sometimes shit happens. And it's just because shit happens. It's not because you did anything wrong or, you know, you're a bad person. It's just like sometimes shit just happens. Shit happens to good people too. And it's natural to be angry and stuff, but to stay there, it's not good. I need to move away from this family because the kids are annoying me. To stay there is not good. It's not good for yourself. I talk about letting it go a lot. But the anger, you know, let yourself go through all the feels, but the anger, you gotta let go of. Feeling like the world's against you, like, you gotta let go of. Shit happens, you learn, you make changes to things if you need to, or you just let it be. Alright, I'm gonna stop here, let you look at the water for a bit, and then I'm gonna sign off. So here's your ocean view. Just some breathing, huh? See you soon. Bye.